to the forefront of a rapidly unfolding drama. A man who had, until that moment, been a ghost in the shadows of the criminal underworld. Saunderson, known for his unassuming demeanor and meticulous attention to detail, had orchestrated countless successful operations, each more daring than the last. Yet, this time, he found himself ensnared in a trap set by the very system he had eluded for years. As the investigation deepened, the layers of deception and subterfuge began to peel away, revealing a complex web of international connections and illicit dealings. The cocaine, sourced from the depths of South America's clandestine production facilities, was intended to flood the streets of the United Kingdom, fueling a lucrative trade that thrived in the shadows. But the meticulous planning of the border force had disrupted this flow, turning the tide in favor of law enforcement. Meanwhile, in West Yorkshire, another narrative was unfolding. The seemingly innocuous evening drive, tracked by the watchful eyes of an unmarked team, concealed within it a payload of significance. The parcels, though ordinary in appearance, were the linchpin of a separate but equally insidious network. This operation, too, was meticulously crafted, its tendrils reaching far beyond the county, weaving through a tapestry of criminal enterprise. As detectives pieced together the clues, a pattern emerged, one that spoke of a collaboration between disparate networks, each leveraging the other's strengths to perpetuate their illicit trade. The revelations were staggering, the implications profound. The investigations, spanning nearly a decade, were a testament to the persistence and ingenuity of those tasked with dismantling these operations. In the end, it was not just about the drugs or the criminals who trafficked them. It was about understanding the mechanisms that allowed such networks to thrive and the vulnerabilities within the system that they exploited. The story of these two interconnected cases serves as a reminder of the delicate balance between law and disorder, and the eternal struggle to maintain justice in a world where shadows often mask the truth. In the shadows of the criminal underworld, a gripping tale of deception and downfall unfolds. A consignment of illicit cargo, valued at nearly 20 million pounds in cocaine, mysteriously vanished, triggering a recovery mission shrouded in suspicion and intrigue. The National Crime Agency, ever vigilant, had already been meticulously piecing together the complex puzzle of this audacious heist. For Saunderson, a key figure in this clandestine operation, the journey commenced far from the bustling docks. His involvement was unveiled through clandestine meetings held in the unassuming backdrop of Aintree Retail Park. Surveillance teams, ever watchful, captured the clandestine gatherings of Stanton, McDermott, Saunderson, and others as they fervently discussed the whereabouts of the missing narcotics. Conversations, initially laced with confusion, swiftly morphed into a cacophony of suspicion and veiled threats of retribution. As the net of justice began to tighten around the conspirators, the once cohesive network began to fracture. Mossman found himself ensnared after abandoning the holds in Wagon. Oakford, too, fell soon after. Anthony Short, the mastermind behind the sham import company, was apprehended and faced charges. Stanton, in a desperate bid for freedom, fled the country, only to be tracked down to Rotterdam and apprehended under a European warrant. Yet, amidst the chaos, one elusive figure evaded capture: Saunderson. As his accomplices crumbled around him, he vanished deeper into the shadows, relying on a web of criminal contacts to remain hidden. For nearly a year, Saunderson eluded capture, slipping through the fingers intertwined with a conspiracy edging ever closer to violence. But the relentless pursuit of justice finally caught up with him in May 2014. Officers descended upon a flat in Salford Keys where they discovered Saunderson, surrounded by cash and drugs that irrevocably linked him back to the conspiracy. The charges were severe: drug supply, blackmail, and money laundering. A decade-long sentence awaited him, a punishment the Court of Appeal would later deem surprisingly lenient. Yet imprisonment did not quell Saunderson's audacious spirit. Even behind bars, his story took an unexpected turn. Within the confines of HMP Kirkham, professional boundaries blurred, and a new chapter of intrigue began to unfold. By the summer of 2018, whispers of impropriety grew louder when Governor Carrie Pegg arrived at work in a lavish 12,000-pound Mercedes C-Class, an acquisition far beyond her financial reach. The source? A staggering 34 kilos of amphetamine traced back to Saunderson's illicit dealings. The opulent vehicle was merely the tip of the iceberg. Anti-corruption teams, delving deeper, uncovered a trove of designer clothes and jewelry within Pegg's flat, starkly juxtaposed against ordinary items that should not have been there. A toothbrush and a pair of Hugo Boss flip-flops, both bearing Saunderson's DNA, painted a vivid picture of a relationship that transcended the boundaries of propriety. In this intricate web of crime and corruption, where the lines between captor and captive blur, the saga of Saunderson serves as a stark reminder of the enduring human capacity for deception and the relentless pursuit of justice. In the end, the tangled threads of this narrative reveal a profound truth. In the dance between light and shadow, the choices we make define the legacy we leave behind. The early months of 2020. This clandestine operation thrived, hidden in plain sight. The meticulous orchestration of Saunderson's network was a testament to his prowess in the criminal underworld. His rise from the constraints of incarceration to the helm of a burgeoning drug empire was swift and calculated, driven by a combination of desperation and ambition. The genesis of this illicit enterprise was rooted in Saunderson's past, a past that was never truly severed despite his time behind bars. The connections he had cultivated over the years were rekindled with a ferocity that belied the quiet rural setting of Wood Cottage. This location, seemingly innocuous, was chosen with precision, its remoteness offering a shield against prying eyes and its proximity to major transport routes providing a logistical advantage. Inside this unassuming facade, the scale of operations was staggering. Industrial mixers and chemical vats transformed precursor chemicals into vast quantities of amphetamine, a potent stimulant with a ready market across Europe. The operation was sophisticated, employing chemists and technicians who worked round the clock to meet the insatiable demand for the product. The factory's output was distributed through a network that spanned the breadth of the continent, from the bustling streets of London to the sun-drenched avenues of Barcelona, and further afield to the coffee shops of Amsterdam. Carrie Pegg's role in this intricate web was both pivotal and perilous. Her position within the prison system afforded her access to information and influence that were invaluable to Saunderson's enterprise. Her dual existence, straddling the line between law enforcement and criminality, was a tightrope walk fraught with risk. Yet, the lure of power and the bond she shared with Saunderson proved compelling enough to keep her tethered to his cause. The encrypted communications between Saunderson and his associates painted a vivid picture of the operation's inner workings. These messages, later unearthed by investigators, revealed a man who saw himself as a master strategist, akin to the fictional characters whose names he adopted. Jesse Pinkman and James Gandolfini were not merely aliases, they were reflections of his dual nature, a blend of streetwise cunning and commanding presence. By late 2019, the network had reached a level of sophistication that commanded attention from both sides of the law. Operation Blue Sword, a multi-agency initiative, was conceived to dismantle this formidable syndicate. As law enforcement officers pieced together the puzzle, They were astounded by the breadth and depth of Saunderson's reach. The unraveling of this empire was as dramatic as its rise. Raids conducted across multiple locations revealed the full extent of the criminal enterprise, from the chemical-laden confines of Wood Cottage to the opulent residences of its top lieutenants. The operation's downfall was precipitated not by a single misstep, but by the relentless pursuit of justice, a testament to the tenacity. In the end, Saunderson's story serves as a cautionary tale of ambition unmoored by morality, a narrative where the pursuit of power and profit eclipsed the boundaries of legality and ethics. It is a reminder of the precarious balance between order and chaos, and the enduring human capacity to navigate between these realms with guile and audacity. In the year 2020, a clandestine network unfurled its operations under the guise of legitimate commerce. Vans arrived with a seemingly innocuous cargo, barrels, boxes, and drums, yet the quantities were anything but ordinary. As investigators painstakingly unraveled the web of transactions and shipments, a staggering realization emerged. The group had clandestinely managed approximately 2.5 tons of precursor chemicals. This was a quantity sufficient to synthesize roughly 900 liters of amphetamine oil, ultimately yielding around 700 kilograms of the finished amphetamine product. Within the confines of a seemingly innocuous property, the interior revealed a meticulously organized setup consistent with the Leucart process, a sophisticated method necessitating precise control over heat, pressure, and chemical reactions. The walls were lined with an array of equipment: reaction vessels, heating mantles, drums of volatile solvents, and protective gear, all essential for the alchemical transformation of raw materials into illicit substances. The veil of secrecy was pierced when EncroChat, a secure communication platform believed to be impenetrable, was eventually compromised. From it, officers recovered a trove of images, photographs exchanged among group members to showcase progress, ensure quality, or requisition supplies. The scale and sophistication of the operation were unmistakable. This was not a mere cottage industry, but a well-oiled machine designed for the sustained production and distribution of illicit drugs across multiple regions. At the helm sat Saunderson, whose role transcended the physical labor. As a coordinator and decision-maker, he wielded encrypted EncroChat devices to orchestrate orders, convey instructions, and oversee the operatives on the ground. The group's members, cloaked in anonymity, communicated under a tapestry of pseudonyms such as Nova Club, Paper Jaguar, Pierre White, Big Water, Striking Puma, Atom Game, Octoise, Park Plum, and Tactical Hawk, each a cryptic facade concealing true identities behind layers of perceived invulnerability. While amphetamine production was the primary enterprise at the Sealand site, the network's ambitions were not confined to a singular product. EncroChat logs revealed a sprawling portfolio of transactions involving cocaine, heroin, ketamine, MCAT, cannabis, and diazepam, with distribution networks extending their tendrils across England, Wales, and Scotland. Yet Sealand formed only one axis of this elaborate operation. A second location, a nondescript industrial unit known as Entry Boxworks in Merseyside, played a crucial role in the post-production phase. Here, the manufactured drugs underwent a transformation from raw material to market-ready product. Kilogram blocks were meticulously broken down, rebagged, sealed, and prepared for dispatch. The logistical orchestration was conducted through EncroChat, with movements choreographed into carefully timed runs. The strategic location of the unit, nestled close to major road networks, provided a pivotal hub from which the group could efficiently distribute orders across the United Kingdom with minimal delay. The supply routes extended far beyond Merseyside, with communications later revealing deliveries reaching as far as Glasgow, Dundee, Neath, Newcastle, and numerous towns across England. The distribution network employed a diverse fleet: rental vans, personal vehicles, and professionally cleaned cars to ensure the seamless transit of goods, each vehicle scrubbed meticulously to erase any trace of illicit residue. In the shadowy corridors of this network, the interplay of chemistry, logistics, and covert communication coalesced into an operation of formidable scale and complexity. Yet, beneath the veneer of invulnerability, a fragile edifice lay exposed, a testament to the inexorable truth that no enterprise, however clandestine, can remain shrouded from the relentless pursuit of justice forever. The story of this network serves as a stark reminder of the intricate dance between those who seek to conceal and those committed to unveiling the hidden tapestries of illicit endeavors. In the shadowy underworld of illicit trade, precision was paramount. Drivers, the silent couriers of contraband, adhered strictly to mundane routines. Their journeys along the monotonous stretches of motorways, punctuated by predictable service station stops, were meticulously designed to blend seamlessly into the backdrop of everyday life. Yet, beneath this veneer of normalcy, vast £50,000, a sum later confiscated from Garrett Kelly, whose presence at the operational heart linked him inexorably to the daily machinations of the syndicate. At the helm of this intricate operation stood Paul Mountain and Darren Owens, figures of authority whose leadership was pivotal. As senior lieutenants, they orchestrated the complex ballet of production and distribution that defined the Sealand network. They were the architects of a seamless supply chain, ensuring the perpetual motion of narcotics and currency in a delicate dance of demand and supply. Benatar movements and recorded journeys later becoming key pieces in the investigative puzzle that would eventually unravel the conspiracy. Every participant in this clandestine venture was a cog in a larger machine, each playing a specific role to maintain the operation's relentless momentum. From production to storage, transport to payment, each stage was a testament to the operation's scale and sophistication. Yet, in their hubris, they overlooked a lurking nemesis, a silent force already conspiring towards their demise. The very tool that facilitated their communications, the encrypted EncroChat system, was silently betraying them. As their messages traversed the digital ether, law enforcement officers began intercepting transmissions that laid bare the intricacies of their criminal enterprise. The intercepted communications painted a vivid picture: chemical recipes, yield calculations, pricing strategies, and detailed instructions concerning couriers, equipment, and storage. Even images from within the Sealand laboratory, previously shrouded in secrecy, were now in the hands of investigators. This unprecedented access catalyzed the inception of Operation Blue Sword, a coordinated effort to dismantle the syndicate. Surveillance teams meticulously aligned intercepted messages with real-world movements, correlating instructions with specific vehicles, routes, and clandestine meetings. Data from phonomars confirmed locations, providing a comprehensive map of the conspiracy's structure. As the investigation progressed, the once routine flow of cash and chemicals became a detailed blueprint of the criminal network. By the close of 2020, the syndicate found itself ensnared in a web of surveillance, unable to move without triggering alarms. The culmination of efforts in late 2020 and into 2021 saw the arrest of every major player linked to the Sealand and entry operations. The evidence amassed was overwhelming. At the Sealand site, officers seized barrels of precursor chemicals, reaction vessels, heating equipment, and amphetamines at various production stages. At the entry point, they discovered packed kilograms of drugs, bagging tools, scales, and traces indicative of the vast quantities that had passed through. In the end, the fall of this clandestine empire was a testament to the unyielding pursuit of justice. It was a reminder that even the most sophisticated operations are not immune to the relentless march of law enforcement. The downfall of the network underscored a timeless truth. In the intricate dance of deception and detection, the scales of justice inevitably tip towards truth. In the shadows of Merseyside, a sprawling criminal enterprise unfurled its clandestine operations, weaving a complex web of illicit activities that spanned the breadth of the uses. This was no ordinary criminal endeavor. It was an industrial-scale operation with a singular focus: the production and distribution of drugs valued at over £6 million. The authorities meticulously pieced together the intricate tapestry of this network, revealing a conspiracy that extended beyond the mere exchange of contraband. At its heart lay a sophisticated system designed for perpetual output, functioning with the precision and efficiency of a well-oiled machine. The arrest phase brought to light not only the scale of the drug operation, but also the internal misconduct that had silently festered within the corridors of power. Carrie Pegg, once a promising figure within the prison service, found herself ensnared in the web of corruption. Charged with 2 counts of misconduct in public office and possession of criminal property, her downfall was a stark reminder of the dangers lurking within positions of authority. Her case ran parallel to the criminal conspiracy, an inseparable thread in the fabric of deceit that enveloped the operation. The charges against her were not merely legal transgressions. They were emblematic of the moral decay that had taken root. Anthony Saunderson, a key figure within the hierarchy of this criminal empire, faced a litany of charges that underscored his pivotal role. Conspiracy to produce and supply Class A and B drugs, conspiracy to possess firearms, and money laundering offenses painted a grim portrait of his involvement. As the cases moved into the courtroom, the once hidden structure of the network was laid bare for all to see, its secrets unfurled from behind encrypted screens and whispered conversations. The trials culminated in a series of sentences that reflected the gravity of their crimes. In August 2022, Anthony Saunderson was sentenced to 35 years in prison, marking one of the most severe drug-related sentences in the United Kingdom in recent memory. His conviction was a testament to the relentless pursuit of justice by law enforcement. The misconduct case, intertwined with his criminality, reached its own conclusion shortly thereafter. Carrie Pegg's once bright future dimmed as she was sentenced to 9 years, her fall from grace complete. The broader network, a tapestry of individuals, each playing their part in the grand scheme, faced sentences commensurate with their roles. Paul Mount received 34 years, while Darren Owens was sentenced to 24 years. Keir and Hartley, instrumental in the operations at the clandestine Sealand Lab, were each handed 23 years. Michael Pope's involvement in the amphetamine production line earned him 17 years and 6 months, while Stefan Beebe received 15 years and 6 months for his direct participation. David Kelly faced 15 years and 3 months, and Stephen Shearwood was sentenced to 14 years and 4 months for his logistical support. Lee Eccles, for his role, received 8 years and 9 months. In total, the group was sentenced to over 187 years of incarceration. Yet, as this network was systematically dismantled, another operation began to stir hundreds of miles away, signaling the emergence of a new supply chain. Early in 2021, a fresh trail of evidence began to surface in West Yorkshire. Officers observed an unusual pattern: the same vehicles traversing identical routes, a clue that hinted at the unfolding of a new chapter in the ever-evolving saga of crime and consequence. This dance of shadows and light, of justice pursued and justice served, underscores the eternal struggle between order and chaos. It is a reminder that while networks may be disassembled, the quest for integrity and truth remains an unyielding journey, one that traverses the landscapes of both the heart and the law. 2021 marked a pivotal year in the annals of British law enforcement. It was a year when the shadows of several towns, Wakefield, Huddersfield, Liverpool, and Stockton, were pierced by the relentless gaze of surveillance. A cadre of individuals traversed these towns with a frequency that defied normalcy, their movements choreographed with a precision that belied the clandestine nature of their trade. Beneath the surface of everyday life, a sophisticated network was at work, orchestrating the flow of vast quantities of cocaine and heroin. This was no street-level operation, but a finely tuned machine of illicit commerce. The transactions were swift, the exchanges seamless, all carefully masked in the mundane rhythm of daily routines. By the time the calendar turned to August, the operation had evolved from a series of isolated observations into a full-scale surveillance mission. Officers had meticulously tracked vehicles, charted routes, and pieced together a complex puzzle of criminal logistics. The breakthrough came on the 4th day of August, when the pattern of movement shifted dramatically. The sudden urgency in the group's activities signaled a significant escalation. On that fateful evening, unmarked police units pursued a vehicle along the well-trodden paths of West Yorkshire. To the untrained eye, the car appeared ordinary, but seasoned officers recognized it as a node in a larger network. Upon intervention, the true scale of the operation was laid bare. Concealed within the vehicle were multiple packages of high-purity cocaine, meticulously prepared for distribution. The seizure amounted to 26 kilos, a haul valued at over £2 million on the streets. Accompanying the drugs was a substantial sum of cash, nearly £175,000, organized in bundles that spoke to their recent passage through the supply chain. The methodical arrangement of the money mirrored that of other regional operations, hinting at a broader, interconnected network. The subsequent arrests were executed with precision and calm. Some suspects offered no resistance, while others feigned ignorance, as if the reality of the situation were but a figment of misunderstanding. For the investigators, this was not merely a drug bust. It was a validation of their efforts, a tangible link between the local operations and a larger network stretching from Liverpool to London. With this significant seizure, the detectives were poised to uncover the deeper architecture of the G before their intervention. Through painstaking analysis of travel patterns, phone records, and financial transactions, the investigators slowly peeled back the layers of this clandestine operation. By aligning these disparate threads, they unearthed a supply line of staggering proportions, capable of moving up to 303 kilos of Class A drugs across England. This revelation was not the result of a single dramatic discovery, but rather the culmination of patient and methodical detective work. This operation, meticulously dissected and understood, underscored a fundamental truth about the human condition: that beneath the surface of our shared reality lies a complexity woven from the choices of individuals and the structures they create. In the shadows, where legality and crime intersect, the delicate balance of order and chaos is constantly negotiated, revealing the enduring struggle between the forces of darkness and the light of justice. In the waning days of December 2021, a complex web of illicit activity began to unravel, revealing a meticulously orchestrated network of individuals engaged in the clandestine trade of narcotics across the United Kingdom. Within the heart of Wakefield, Narveed Asghar emerged as a pivotal figure, deftly handling both drugs and cash. His expertise lay in coordinating the seamless transit of consignments, ensuring that the flow of money remained uninterrupted and undetected. Asgar's operations were a testament to the sophisticated logistics underpinning this shadowy enterprise. Meanwhile, in Huddersfield, the operation took on a distinct shape under the stewardship of Muhammad Adel Jarmil. Tasked with managing the local redistribution of cocaine, Jarmil maintained crucial connections with couriers, who facilitated the movement of stock into neighboring towns. His accomplice, Nasser Hayat, played a supportive role, orchestrating routine handovers and acting as a linchpin for communications that kept the local market well supplied. Further afield, in Stockton-on-Tees, Alex Holder orchestrated the northern conduit of the operation. His responsibility lay in ensuring that consignments moved smoothly between the Northeast and West Yorkshire, adhering to a schedule that maintained the network's rhythm. To the south, in Bournemouth, Mohammed Saeed managed the southern flank of the supply chain, bridging the gap between West Yorkshire and regional distributors who demanded a consistent supply to satisfy their markets. In the sprawling metropolis of London, Olalekan Odedina operated within the infield sector, playing a crucial role in maintaining the capital's connection to the broader network. His movements were integral to the upstream routes that funneled product into distant towns, linking the capital to the farthest reaches of the operation. Each participant in this elaborate scheme functioned as a cog in a vast machine, their individual roles seemingly mundane when viewed in isolation. Yet, when pieced together, these roles coalesced into a formidable operation that spanned the nation. By year's end, law enforcement had begun to discern the full extent of this operation, a network characterized by its precision, deliberation, and unexpected scale. The unraveling of this intricate conspiracy was spearheaded by West Yorkshire Police's Precision Team, an elite unit designed to combat serious organized crime and the violence that often accompanies large-scale drug distribution. Precision officers, stationed strategically across the county, tackled cases that traversed multiple towns, involved numerous offenders, and intersected various trafficking routes. This particular conspiracy quickly became one of the most significant undertakings of the year for the team. Early seizures provided a glimpse into the magnitude of the operation, prompting investigators to delve deeper into its intricacies. As additional drug caches were traced back to the network, detectives meticulously pieced together the puzzle, placing defendants within the broader system. The operation's complexity was mirrored in the investigative efforts required to dismantle it, a testament to the tenacity and dedication of those tasked with bringing it to justice. In the end, the story of this network serves as a profound reflection on the nature of organized crime. It is a tale of ambition and ingenuity, of individuals who, despite their seemingly disparate roles, were united by a common purpose. And as the dust settled, it became clear that beneath the surface of ordinary life, extraordinary machinations were at play, reminding us of the delicate balance between order and chaos that defines human society. In the shadowy depths of illicit trade, a formidable chain of heroin and cocaine distribution once thrived, its tendrils reaching into the heart of West Yorkshire and beyond. This operation, at the kilo level, was meticulously orchestrated to fragment vast quantities of drugs into smaller parcels, destined for the streets where they would fuel a cycle of violence and exploitation. The mission for law enforcement was unequivocal: dismantle this clandestine network and sever the supply lines that nourished the underbelly of regional crime. Through painstaking investigation, detectives meticulously pieced together a complex puzzle, revealing a web of connections that linked the defendants to their insidious trade routes. By the conclusion of 2021, the meticulous case was ready for judicial scrutiny, and arrests were executed with precision. The courtroom of Leeds Crown Court became the stage where the intricacies of this network were unfurled, detailing a sophisticated operation with roots stretching from the bustling streets of Liverpool and London to the localities of West Yorkshire. The court proceedings underscored the operation's calculated coordination. Detective Inspector Kevin Daly provided a window into the operation's scale, describing it as a kilo-level supply chain, methodically channeling narcotics into the local street markets. As the legal process unfolded, those who had confessed to their crimes faced their reckoning. Naveed Asghar was sentenced to 7 years and 3 months, a reflection of his significant involvement in the operation. Mohammed Adil Jamil received 6 years and 9 months, his conviction supported by financial trails and digital evidence. Stephen Conroy was sentenced to 5 years and 6 months. For those who stood trial, the outcomes were similarly severe. Nasir Hayat faced 4 years and 6 months for offenses related to cocaine and criminal property. Alex Holder was handed a sentence of 3 years and 9 months. The final act of justice came on the 14th of November as Mohammed Saeed and Olalekon Adidina returned to court. Saeed's sentence was 3 years and 9 months, while Adidina received 4 years and 6 months for his role in the conspiracy. With the final pronouncements, the once formidable network lay in ruins, its disassembly marking a significant victory in the battle against organized crime. Yet, in the quiet aftermath of justice served, one must ponder the relentless cycle of supply and demand, the shadows that persist even when the spotlight of law enforcement has dimmed. The dismantling of this network serves as a reminder of the perpetual struggle against the forces that seek to undermine the fabric of society, urging vigilance and resolve in the ongoing quest for justice.